Breaking the cycle before it takes another life. That's the goal of a partnership between Warren Police and the local nonprofit Turning Point to End Domestic Violence.
I reported on the program when it began just 4 months ago, and already it is saving lives. So tonight, I am raising the voices of a survivor, the Warren Police Commissioner and the CEO of Turning Point, who all say this could be a model for others to follow. Domestic violence, one of the most dangerous runs a police officer can make. In Warren alone, more than 9,000 calls in the last 2 years. Now a new strategy, Operation Cycle Break, is turning the numbers around.
What we found is that it has been effective.
Commissioner Eric Hawkins had Wayne State University researchers dig into the data. 4 months into this 6-month pilot program, 86% of warrant requests approved, with 340 cases submitted for prosecution. Is that new?
We usually don't have that many cases that they get authorized with domestic violence, and it's because of a variety of reasons. Sometimes victims are a little hesitant to prosecute.
Victims like this mom, who did not want her identity known, says her ex-husband was verbally abusive, screaming, spitting in her face, and wrapping his arm around her neck until she couldn't breathe.
He threw me into the garage and closed the door and started screaming at me.
Operation Cycle Break puts victims first, ensuring survivors like this mom feel safe when they call for help, while offenders are held accountable.
I told my daughter, call 911, and they came immediately. Warren Police came right away, and they arrested him.
Hawkins says stronger ties with the courts mean more accountability. Nearly 70% of homicides and half of violent crimes in Warren are linked to domestic violence. In the past, victims often felt dismissed, even re-victimized.
I said, do you think that's assault? Because I don't really know. And he said, yes, that is what we would consider assault. And I said, could I, file a police report? And he said, yes, you can. And that's where it all started.
In 30 years of policing, Hawkins says he's never seen such a dramatic change in how officers handle domestic violence, a model he hopes spreads beyond Warren.
What's really changed the game is having a true and substantive victims-oriented approach.
This mom says Warren Police made her feel heard and empowered.
Him affirming my story and not minimizing it like family members had done, and making me feel like I was being dramatic.
Sergeant Jim Twardesky and Captain Brent Chisholm helped design Operation Cycle Break.
So we were looking for a comprehensive response to violent crime problems that we see in Warren. And what we saw was that domestic violence nexus. And so if you're going to try to address violent crime and all these serious incidents that are happening, you have to go for the root foundation, underlying cause of it all.
37th District Court and Turning Point, a nonprofit helping survivors escape abuse, are key partners. Turning Point offers a 24-hour hotline, emergency shelter, and counseling.
We have created a very proactive, trauma-informed response to domestic violence situations. So when an officer goes out now, one of the things that they're doing is they're recognizing, of course, that there's trauma and that there needs to be a different approach to that.
There's also help for those who inflict harm. For this mom, Operation Cycle Break was the lifeline she needed to finally break free. Now, if you are a victim of domestic violence, call 911, or Turning Point's hotline number is 586-463-6990. You have to know help is always available, and women sometimes, and men too, can't always call in. It's one of the most dangerous times when you're trying to escape. But in the past, police would tell a victim, go home, let him cool off, it'll be fine. But now they're listening and treating victims as they should, so they can become survivors and get the help they need to get out
and that's
break
really
free.
a paradigm shift, because that is a cycle that you get stuck in.
Yes, absolutely. They're being trained to listen and understand their trauma, which is so very important.
And it's making a difference. Dave?